reality? What's the reality?
You guys, what's up? What's up? Welcome to What's the Reality? Today we are joined by our girl Lauren from season 8 of Love is Blind. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to dive into all things LIB, but first catch me up. How's life? What are we up to?
Yeah, life is good. It's been a crazy year to look back because obviously like all of this happened a year ago and then you kind of have to go back and live your normal life. Well, like attempt to live a normal life and then experience it all over again. And I was definitely anxious coming into this, thinking about like how it would feel watching it all back. And for the most part, it feels like a similar roller coaster than it felt at the time, but I also feel so much more emotionally removed from it than I did when I was going through it, obviously. So that helps to have like a different lens.
Yeah. So how's your life changed since the show came out?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is the friendships that I've made from it. Like I've gotten so close with like Taylor and Sarah. We live like so close to each other. And so we just see each other a lot. And it's nice to have friendships from it, but also like friendships who experienced this and can speak to what we went through. Like
and relate to you.
Yeah. I mean, no one, unless you've gone through this, you truly don't understand the emotional roller coaster that it puts you on. So having girls from it is huge.
So, okay, I guess we'll get right into the tea. Are you dating? Are you single?
I'm not dating anyone. I am single. I feel like I need to be after the last year that I had. I just need to like take a beat.
Yeah. Yeah. So you saw Dave at the reunion. Was that the first time seeing him? Have you guys spoken before?
So throughout the last year, again, you'll see it. We talk about it a million times. Like Minneapolis is so small. We were joking yesterday at the reunion that how many times was it mentioned? Like I ran into you at a bar. And it seems like there's one bar in Minneapolis. There's probably 3. But so I would say like we've ran into each other throughout the last year, but we've never really like had a conversation about anything.
Yeah.
So when I ran into him a week ago, I could tell he was like excited to talk to me about it because I don't think that he's seen it this way in the last year. And I think he was excited to be like, look at this revelation that I've come to. And so we were standing talking when we ran into each other a week ago. And he was like, I just see it so differently now. Like this guy ruined our relationship.
Yeah.
And my gut reaction is like,
the guy
didn't ruin the relationship. I didn't ruin the relationship.
You ruined
the relationship.
Okay, let's be clear.
This is on you.
Yeah.
And so as much as it, again, was like helpful, I think, for him to have clarity, I don't know how much he sees his role in that from a year ago still.
Still?
Yeah.
Are we shocked?
No.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Girl, I have such a big sigh with that man.
I know.
Head scratch. I'm just like, okay, let's talk about it. So you were in a love triangle.
Yeah.
You, Dave, and Molly. How did it feel to be in a love triangle? And is there anything that you would have done differently?
I mean, honestly, at the time, I was making these like decisions based on the information that I had in front of me and like what I was hearing from Dave. I remember there were a couple of days where, so like to back up to, I remember there's a scene where Molly tells me that her number one is Dave and she's like only here for Dave. That was on like day like 4. Like, I remember being like, I have 4 other dates today. So as much as I liked Dave at the time, I didn't really put too much emphasis on that or like knowing that. And then as the days went on and other people started to kind of fizzle out and like Dave became stronger for me, it set in a little bit more. And so it kind of became a little bit more real. Like, okay, I know Molly really likes this person. I'm really starting to develop strong feelings for him. And I was really torn on if I wanted to say anything to her and if I wanted to like approach it with her. But I remember thinking like that conversation would really stress me out.
Yeah.
And I'm already really stressed. And at the time I was hearing all of these different things and I was like, I'm in a relationship with Dave. There was a part of me that felt like I owed him the conversation before I owed it to Molly. Not like Molly, I would have ignored her.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I wanted to go to him first. Looking back, I do feel like it makes me look like I was trying to sneak behind Molly and like throw her under the bus to Dave, but I just wanted clarity for me.
Yeah.
Like
what you deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And watching the scene back where I'm telling Dave how I feel, it was hard to watch because it makes it seem like I'm comparing myself to Molly. And I was only like, I have so much shit going on and like things to think about. I don't even know what he and Molly's connection looked like. I was thinking about me and Dave and I was like, don't fuck this up.
Right.
for us, not because of anything that they had. So I guess the only thing is I don't know, maybe I would have talked to Molly, but I don't know how that like conversation would have led to anything too different. It's so hard to look back and know.
And I think a lot of people have to remember, like, we're all dating the same people.
Right.
So it's like, am I going to choose my bestie that's not really my bestie that I've known all of 4 minutes?
Right.
Or the man that I'm falling for that I could potentially marry?
Right.
And I think we're in such a sticky situation where it's like, I love you, girl, but get off of my man.
Yeah, like,
you know,
I
like,
want this.
Yeah.
And I will fight for this.
Yeah, and we don't come on the show for best friends. Like, you can stumble into that one bar you all go to and find a new friend.
Exactly.
Like, that's not why we're here.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people kind of miss the mark on that. Like, we're not here for best friends. Yeah, we want to come off as girls, and, oh, you like him, I like him. But I don't think you have to defend yourself for going in there and being like, hey, this is what I want you.
Totally. Yeah. And like looking back, I feel like it's not super clear that I was well aware of the situation that we signed up for. I knew that we were dating multiple people. My issue wasn't with that. My issue was Dave telling Molly, you're my number one person here. Which I'm like, okay, if there's 2 of us here, then why do I need to be here anymore? Yeah. That was my only frustration. It wasn't that like he had this connection with Molly. Obviously, that was kind of part of it.
I have a question. Did his jokes land? Like, was that funny?
It
that
was,
whole you're 30, so because I don't see a world where that's funny. Did that land for you?
Super valid question.
Yeah.
Very valid. I feel like that's like the most. A lot of people are wondering that
because I'm like, oh, is she gonna walk out? Because I would have been like, you know what? Actually, you're right. I'm ugly.
It honestly, okay, I totally see where you're coming from. And like watching it as a viewer, I would have thought the same thing. It felt so much more lighthearted in the moment. And you even see, like, there's a moment, if you watch it back, he laughs immediately, but it's not on like the main laugh track. It's on like the background
main laugh track.
Yeah. Like they kind of purposely like didn't include his like follow-up laugh. Again, there's like jokes that I'm seeing that I'm like, oh my God, people are going to hate that. But it felt so much more lighthearted in the moment. And I remember like, I don't know, I like banter.
Yeah.
I needed someone to shoot the shit with. So it really at the time did not feel like an immediate red flag the way that I think it's being seen as now.
Yeah. Speaking of.
A lot of red flags.
A lot of red flags. Do you feel like you ignored them because you wanted to marry him, you really loved him? Like, do you see the red flags now?
I mean, I think the biggest red flag that I see looking back now is just the shift when we got back to Minneapolis and the way he was like, team us, and then immediately team anyone but us. And like, that became so obvious. And I wish I'd addressed that sooner than I did.
Addressed what?
Him not believing me and not picking me and not like being on my team.
Yeah. Because it seemed to be the whole plot of your relationship.
Yes.
It was actually frustrating to watch. Like, I'm getting hot thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then the relationship with his sister.
Yeah. I know I have like, this is where I have such a soft spot for family. And I think like we're forgetting he lost his mom at like a very very impressionable age. I think his sister really stepped into that role. And I think he really wanted to find some outs, and that was a good one.
Okay, because, girl, okay.
I feel like I need to hold your hand.
Yeah, I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. First of all, what did you think about their relationship? Regardless of him losing his mom, which is extremely sad and unfortunate, and we're not going to make that a thing. But the relationship with his sister, do you even see yourself being even married into a family where he can't make a decision?
Well, now, no.
Yeah.
Like, definitely not. I would never be able to marry into a family.
Sitting there and that you're kind of like, I need her approval. We need.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
And it was frustrating because like even he himself says, I'm not worried about you getting along with her or like her liking you. Like he says that.
Oh, I'm very worried.
Yeah. So it's like, then what? Then I think I knew if we were to ever meet.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that I've never been in like toxic relationships before in terms of romantic partners or friendships or family. Like that's just never, but I've always been able to communicate through something.
Yeah.
And so that's why this was so frustrating too, because I was like, you're not even giving me a chance to communicate with your
Did
with
you
your
ever
people.
meet her?
No.
Did you meet anyone from his
No.
side? Never.
Nope.
Not even a FaceTime off camera.
Nope. And that was like the other frustrating part too, is like my older brother, I have 3 brothers, and my older brother is like very invested and was very protective. And he was like, I love you, I support you, but like, I don't know if I want to be on camera.
Yeah.
But within 24 hours of us getting back, he called me and was like, hey, can you put me on speaker? And like, I'd love to talk to Dave.
Right.
And they had multiple phone call conversations with me
Yeah.
there. And he didn't obviously even give me that with anyone in his family.
Do you
or
think
friends.
he was kind of like looking for, do you think he was already out of it when he got back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when he got his phone back, he was out of it. Yeah.
And you were just fighting for your little life.
I was fighting for my life.
Girl, I wanted to jump through that TV screen.
Same. I had probably the same emotions as the world watching it back.
So he gets his phone back. You guys get your phone back. He's now dumped with all this information that you were not a virgin before he met you.
Shocking.
And he's devastated.
Really crushed him.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, honestly. Okay, walk me through it. So now, just walk me through it.
Okay.
He gets his phone back. What?
So again, like you see us have this conversation in Honduras about this connection that we made. And you see me say to him, like, he wasn't someone I dated. He wasn't someone I wanted to date. Like, I'm here now, but you guys have this weird, random connection. And he was like, fine with that. I mean, obviously we had the conversation, but it's not like it was ever brought up again in the getaways. And then we get his phone back, and I think he starts to think, oh, I have such a different story of this. Like, his phone is blowing up with his friends saying, you just got engaged to a girl with a boyfriend. And like, again, I understand that would have been very frustrating, but instead of turning to me and saying like, can you speak more to this? He just like sat there and kind of immediately put his walls back up. And so you see me say this halfway through our time in Minneapolis where I'm like, I feel like I lost you this week, but like, I think I lost him that day.
Yeah. I hate to keep laughing at this man, but it's just kind of so silly. He goes on this kind of like spree when the cast was all meeting, asking everyone
That was
all
a tough
had
watch.
sex. And like for someone that didn't want you to have sex ever, he went around asking who's all doing what.
Yeah.
What do you have any insight to what he was up to prior to the show? Because was he really just sitting there?
From like rumors that I've heard, I don't think that he was sitting in his apartment being celibate for the last 32 years.
For the last 32
So, but like, again, I don't have like concrete details of that. I think he really thought he had like all of the facts with me, and I didn't. And also the other thing is like, I was hearing stuff, but I didn't care enough. I don't know why I would have been like, I need to know every bit of your sexual history. That did not matter to me.
Right.
But it really mattered to him.
Right. Do you feel like why do you feel like it was so important for you to like keep having that conversation with him over and over and over? Like, did you ever get to the point where you're just like, believe me or not, or do whatever the fuck you want to do with this information?
Yeah. So and I did say that when we were at the cycling studio and like we had brought it up with my friends. I remember as we were closing things out, I said to him, like, I need you to figure out if you're going to trust me or not, because I can't keep feeling like this. And I say, I'm so helpless. Like, I can't do much more beyond tell you my story.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating because obviously we're living together, and so we're filming, but we're also not filming. We both work remote, so we kind of see each other throughout the day. And we would have, we were just living life together, and we would have conversations, like light conversations, heavy conversations. We would talk about meeting our families and friends over the weekend. And then when the cameras would come up, it would be like the only thing he would come back to is this guy.
Right.
And I remember thinking like, this is so minuscule.
Can we talk about something?
Can we talk about if we're going to get married in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Like, I was sitting there being so confused about how I like felt about this person, and if I wanted to, I was seriously considering marrying him. Obviously, like, I feel like that is obvious when you watch it back. And so it just felt like, when are we going to get to the stuff that actually matters in a relationship and with like a potential future husband? So that was the most frustrating part, is having him continue to bring up the same thing in like a very specific environment. He wasn't talking about that to me off camera.
I can't recall a different conversation between you two.
Yeah.
Truly.
I mean, like, we're filming for so many hours, as you know. There's like so much else that comes up, but yeah, I would say a lot of our on-camera conversations were always revolved around that.
Well, what kept you fighting for it?
I honestly think that like, as you know, this experience in the pods and like the getaways, you develop this insanely emotional connection with someone that, again, I remember leaving being like, I'm so connected to this person, like emotionally, physically, like I had felt so close to him in a way that I'd never felt with someone. And in previous relationships, Dave and I have talked about this before, where I've like never really made it past the 6 to 9 mark with people. I kind of like give up a little bit more quickly if I find something that I don't like. So I remember thinking like, okay, I have this really strong connection with someone and I should probably do things a little bit differently. And again, you see me fighting for my life in a way that I just like haven't done before. Like that really was navigating very new terrain for me.
Yeah. Do you think that you guys handle conflict different?
We do.
Yeah. Because there's no way in hell. I would have had that conversation one time and I'd have been like, do with that information what you want.
Right.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Well, and even like you see his lack of problem solving when we're having this argument in the kitchen and he goes out with his friends after I say, I'd rather you not. Like, because I remember thinking every time you go to your friends, you feel like you have a different detail to come back and tell me that's incorrect.
It felt like he just kept coming back like stronger and bigger. Like, actually.
With the same thing that I'm like, I thought we debunked this. Like, I didn't understand. But so he's like saying he goes out with his friends and then he doesn't come back to the apartment that night.
Yeah.
And I remember like laying in bed with the hallway light on, waiting to like wake up and see it off and have him be there. And like, I mean, I was up every hour that night, and to wake up at 3 a.m. to a text that was like, I'm going to stay back at my apartment. I remember, like, I've never felt like that in a relationship. And I remember waking up being like, I will never feel like that again. Like, that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And he came back, and I remember he had like a little bit of a different perspective on things. He was a little bit more open to hearing me out. At least it seemed like that in the moment. So I remember thinking like, okay, my problem solving or conflict resolution is communication. And I think yours is
his is
avoidance.
Easily influenced.
Correct.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he will never be on your side.
Right.
Or anyone's side.
Yeah.
Besides the people that matter, you know, that, and I think what is so crazy about this is we're told throughout the experiment that like, will the outside matter? And this is not one of those things that I'm thinking would affect an engagement, you know? But like, you never think like, how is my past going to show up so heavily in my day-to-day? And that was one, I feel like this relationship from all seasons, that back home, the outside factor really destroyed, in essence, your engagement.
I mean, I think the noise destroyed it. I also think his like inability to work through that in a relationship destroyed it. Like, I remember thinking at the time too, every other couple that we were with was dealing with shit. As you see, there was noise from other sisters or from TikTok or
other
from
sisters.
family. Yes. A lot of sisters this season. And everyone else, like, it honestly seemed like some of the couples got stronger for it. The way that they communicated through it, the way they kind of had each other's backs. Like, you see Sarah too talking about how she's like, I'm not going to dismiss her, but I do, like, I'm engaged to you. I want to believe you. And I trust that. And I remember thinking like, how come every other couple is going through this conflict with this noise and is coming out stronger because of it? And Dave and I weren't.
Do you feel like he tried to kind of like villainize you for your past?
I think he wanted it to be my fault or this guy's fault or my dad's fault. It was everybody else's fault.
So you guys met up, you, Dave, and your dad did a whole off-camera thing that he got really emotional about. Do you want to talk about that and tell us what happened? Yeah.
So that was actually, it was over 2 times that he had met my dad. So we met my parents for drinks the first night. And my dad just had a lot of questions. Like, I remember he came in and he had like a napkin of like 15 handwritten questions for this person. Like, I cried when he pulled it out and saw it. And it was like, I mean, the basic stuff of like, how do you feel about Lauren? Like, how do you feel about marriage? Are you ready for this? All these things. And he also knew that Dave didn't come home the night before because I went to go see my parents. So he was like, what happened last night? And honestly, it was a really good conversation. I remember like Dave answered the questions really well. He was very engaged in it. He was trying to it was a really good conversation between everyone. And then so we go back and then we meet up for coffee the next morning. And I think my dad had sat there and just like thought about it and was just like, oh my gosh, you're going to get married in 2 weeks. And he didn't come home the night before and you guys are still tackling stuff that maybe you should not be tackling at this stage of a relationship. And so he was just much more direct with Dave and was like, if this isn't 100%, don't get married. Like this is the biggest decision you'll ever make. And I remember feeling an energy shift with Dave. Like he kind of like sat back and like crossed his arms too. Whereas like in the past he was
during the conversation.
Yeah. Like he like was kind of physically pulling himself away. And I could see that shift. But I think my dad was just worried for me. He just wanted me to make the right choice.
And at this point, your dad knows what you guys are kind of going through.
Yeah.
Do you think Dave felt like attacked or?
I think so.
He looked very hurt.
Yes. I think he felt attacked and that was like frustrating to watch back because I'm like, how do you think I felt for the last like 2 weeks?
Right.
And so I don't think my dad said anything groundbreaking to him. I think he just addressed what was happening in a way that wasn't very kind. I don't want to say that. Wasn't very like soft, the way that I was kind of like talking to Dave about it. I think my dad was saying exactly what I was saying, but in a tone that was a little bit more like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. I feel like you have a lot of people, like, I feel like the world wanted to stick up for you. And like having your dad stick up for you probably felt amazing. So how did it feel when you watched the conversation between Dave and Molly and how she had your back?
She killed that conversation. And I knew, like, Molly and I are friends and we've talked a lot throughout the last year. And I knew based on conversations we've had that she supported me, but I had no idea that she rode that hard for me.
Yeah.
And I was watching it being like, this is, I believe, what the world is probably saying at their TVs right now. And
100%.
She knew none of that. Like Dave and I broke up 24 hours before. She went into that day thinking Dave and I were still engaged. And so when she sat down, she was like, I don't know if I want to tell you this. And like, we had this conversation about how we broke up, and the way she was able to take that and like internalize it and then communicate that to Dave in such a clear way. I'm like amazed by her. She did such a good job. And I felt very supported by her.
She's so sweet and so cute.
Yeah.
And so then after, what we see is Dave stumbling over to you and is he drunk?
He's drunk. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a long night.
And okay, walk me through that. Were you sober? Was anybody sober?
Okay. I was like,
is this the one bar that you guys all go to, by the way?
The Ski Hill? It really looks, it's very Minnesotan. I will say, like, I feel like people ask me all the time, like, we did not drink that much on set or just like in general. Yeah. But like, for some reason that night, I think they were like, let's let it flow. I was definitely not sober, but I was more sober than him, and I could pick up on that. I went into that day 24 hours after we broke up being like, I don't need clarity from him. I don't need closure from him. Like, I've been hearing the same fucking things for 2 weeks and I don't need to hear it again tonight. Like, I just didn't feel the need to even engage in a conversation. So when he came up and we talked, it was interesting to see like this full 180 of the tiniest bit of accountability. And it was like a reminder of how easily influenced he is by his surroundings because it's his friends in his ear, and now here it's Molly in his ear, and he has like pivoted since then. And so he's like telling me some of these things, and I remember thinking like, okay, I've waited a couple weeks for you to take the tiniest bit of accountability or acknowledgement that maybe you could have done things differently. And you see me say, I'd love to believe this, but I remember thinking like, I don't buy that this is where your head's at. It. Exactly. Yeah.
Like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, yawn, eye roll, like, and I'm like literally pleading. I'm like, Lauren, if you piss me off, I'm turning this TV
What if we went home
off.
together?
No, I would have protested. Yeah. Cause no, you deserve way better than some drunken, I'm sorry and I want you back bullshit at the bar.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he can come back less than 24 hours with all this remorse.
Yeah.
Drunk remorse, whatever we're calling it.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. And I'm glad you saw through it.
Yeah.
Because what the hell?
Well, and I also saw through it, like, I remember thinking, like, we'll see if this lines up. And then he obviously never reached out. So it was very obvious that was not.
So after that talk, what happened? Did you reach out the next, like what?
No, he had reached out here and there, but it was not with the intention of like an emotional connection.
Yeah. Oh.
If that makes sense.
Well, what kind of connection? What are we talking?
I think you just wanted to say hi.
Girl, did you guys say hi?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
My heart is pounding right
I bet it is. So you're obviously watching kind of like all the chatter on social media about your season. Have you watched prior seasons, first of all?
Yeah.
All of them?
Big fan.
Okay, huge.
Loved you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. But people are saying love is bland.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was it for you watching it? Like, if you were to take yourself and your story and your drama out of it, how is the season for you?
I don't fully disagree with the feedback. Obviously, it's fun to watch my people, and I've again become so close with Taylor and Daniel, and seeing their relationship throughout the last year. I was so excited to watch them, watch it play out. It's like that part is really fun for me, and I'm enjoying that piece of it. The pods were kind of a tough watch again, but that's like, was it because I knew the outcome that I'm like skipping through some stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I need to see all of this. I think it's very Minnesotan. Like, I do think that this is.
What does that mean? Are there Black people in Minnesota?
There are not a lot of them.
I'm sorry,
that
y'all.
part's tough. Yeah. I think it's just very like Midwest nice in a lot of ways. There's not a lot of direct communication. I mean, you see us, how many times did we say at the reunion the word miscommunication? But it's, I think, just indirect. No one's really saying how they're feeling.
Yeah, why?
I think it's such a Midwest nice thing. Like, that's just how we're raised to not ruffle feathers and to not.
If I hear ruffle feathers one more fucking time, I'm bringing feathers so we can all ruffle them.
Yeah, don't come to the Midwest then. You would hate it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Because I feel like when you're on this kind of experiment or experience, and the point is to get below surface level conversations. So it's like, if you guys are on TV acting that way, in real life, are we having conversations?
Right.
Like, in real life, are the Minnesotans talking? Or are you guys just getting surface level married?
That's
like,
a really
prior
good
to the
question.
show, were you having conversation?
Yeah. Very good question. I actually would be curious. I honestly don't know a good answer to that, but it would be interesting to see what it would look like to date in the Midwest and date somewhere else. I've only ever lived in.
Girl, come to Charlotte or go to Boston or New
tempted.
York or something.
Try something else out?
Yeah, come to the East Coast.
I would be very curious. I mean, I feel like it's a very Minnesotan thing too, to see. You scroll on Hinge and you see like people with their fish pictures, people at their cabin, people. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't even know what it would look like elsewhere. So I don't even have anything to compare it to.
Do you feel like moving forward, your dating style will change in any way?
It has to. It quite literally has to.
Yeah.
I need to make some different dating decisions moving forward.
Maybe get out of that bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, where everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is scary. And I even mentioned this on my promo video that I'm like, I need them to roll the tapes on this because they were like, what's the hardest part about dating in Minneapolis? And I was like, in the world, they say that there's 7 degrees of separation. And in Minneapolis, there's 1. Like, you can find a connection to every single person that lives in that area.
That's not healthy.
It's not.
It's not fun. Especially with people like Dave running around expecting you to not know anybody when you all know that you all know the same people. That's scary.
Yeah.
Girl.
It's tough. It's really
we're going to apartment search in
Please.
the East Coast. We're going to get you out of there because in the other real world, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Where I'm from.
Because you shouldn't.
No one cares.
Because that shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. It's a simple conversation. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, we did whatever. Yeah, I lived a life before you.
Right.
Now what?
Right.
Like, let's get to it.
Right. Right.
And I think he kind of dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of mentioned that we don't think that Dave was just sitting in his apartment for the last 30-something years before he met you. And it was kind of this expectation that you needed to be some Virgin Mary whenever he met you.
Correct.
But I do feel like there's like this double standard just in general when it comes to how women should present and how men are allowed to kind of frolic.
Yeah.
Did you feel that kind of between you two?
Yeah, like there's almost this expectation that like men can sleep around and not get emotionally attached and it doesn't affect their future relationships. But like here I am telling him I had this physical connection, but like not an emotional connection. And it doesn't matter in terms of this relationship. And that was like mind blowing. He like couldn't wrap his mind around that.
Not.
And I also, I mean, again, you see him in Honduras be very vocal about sex and like ask questions. And we were having those conversations. It's not like that wasn't happening between us either. Like we were very much talking about this. And so I just didn't, again, it just didn't add up that this was the thing. This was our downfall.
So did your ex apply to be on Love is Blind?
Can I first clarify? He is not an ex. He's not an ex-boyfriend.
Your fake ex. Your fake ex applied.
I found out about this like 3 days ago that he full on applied to be on the show. And I don't know if he did that before or after, because he knew that I was talking to casting from like the minute we started talking. And I don't know if he applied before or after I gave him that information. I just found out about this. He never fucking told me that. Why would he? It would have like totally contradicted his whole narrative that he's spinning right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minnesota's too small.
It's too small and it's, oh my God.
There's that. Imagine if he would have been in the pod.
Thank God.
He would have ran around the lounge like.
Oh my God. That was totally a fear of mine going into it. I remember talking to casting and being like, I've been single in Minneapolis for 5 years. You're telling me you're going to find 16 men that I've never talked to or dated or interacted with before. And so I was actually impressed that they found that. But they had to do a lot of digging, I'm sure.
Goodness. This man he's after something, huh?
He's after something.
Don't like that very much.
No. Like I said, I need to get a better picker with this Ben.
We need to get you out of Minnesota.
I know.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Good thing this is going to be like aired everywhere because
great.
We need to get
Where should I go?
Out of here.
Out of here.
Okay, so you posted something about your wax situation.
Oh my God. Thank you. Can I clarify that, please?
Please do. Because what?
I watched that back and my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, they did me so dirty with that edit. Okay. So between the pods and the getaways, we had like a few days to regroup, get our shit together, go to random appointments. And so obviously I'm like, I need to get a bikini wax before this. And then they were like, anything else you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, if I could go to a spin class, that would be amazing. So they signed me up for both of those things. So I'm in the middle of my wax and my lady is like, okay, no sex for 24 hours, no working out for 24 hours, kind of give me the lay of the land. Yeah. And so I'm like, shit, I have to cancel that spin class. So I was really bummed about that. I hadn't done like a full workout in 2 weeks and I was craving it. And so we get to the getaways and like Dave and I are sitting there talking about what we've been doing the last couple of days. And I'm like, I got this bikini wax. And then I really wanted to go to this spin class, but I'm bummed that I how did I say it? I said, I couldn't have sex or go to or work out for 24 hours. And I'm bummed because I really wanted to go to this spin class. And they edited it to make it look like I was bummed that we couldn't have sex.
Yeah.
And number one, the timing of that would have been off because it would have been after 24 hours. But I'm like, I don't talk like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good look.
Now I can't.
Yes. And then like the way they show him responding, like it looks like he's like, great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That was so not.
It did give that he couldn't care either way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had got a chance to clear that up. Is there anything else you wanted to clear up?
Honestly, no. That was, well, I guess we'll see what else comes out. But for now,
yeah.
It's good.
Okay, so you guys just filmed the reunion. Give me your hot take, your thoughts.
Yeah. I think you'll see more Minnesota Nice, or we saw some more Minnesota Nice.
I don't want to see no more Minnesota Nice.
Yeah.
I want the Minnesota Mean. What is, go ahead, girl.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I honestly, based on the conversation that Dave and I had like a week ago, I had a feeling he was going to come in and attempt to take some like accountability. I feel like I knew he wasn't going to double down and be like, no, you did have a boyfriend, because honestly, that wouldn't have looked, I feel like he would have been even more destroyed if that would have been his approach. So I knew that would happen, but I still had things that I wanted to share. And I think for the most part, I shared some reflections that I had had throughout the last year. I was kind of surprised at how much, I don't know, there was a moment where I'm sitting there being like, did they give Dave an engagement ring? And is he about to get up and get on one knee? Because the way they were like really prompting him to talk about me and how he feels about me, I was like, that ship has sailed 11 months ago.
Oh, gosh.
So yeah.
Do you think he wants you back?
I honestly don't think so. I think he's like, I do think that he's been reflective of things and wants to take accountability, but I don't think that that translates to wanting me back.
Do you think that he took full accountability for everything, or do you feel like maybe...
I don't think, like, I think he's taking accountability for the fact that he didn't believe me and wasn't on my team, but I don't think he's taken accountability for the fact that, like, let's say in another world, this was true. Let's say 48 hours before I went on this experiment, I was like hooking up with this guy. I still don't think that that is an engagement ending situation.
I agree.
So I think he took accountability for the fact that like that was too much noise for him, but not for the fact that if he was emotionally ready to be married and really wanted to be with me, we would have been together.
Do you feel like you said everything you need to say on that couch?
I mean, for the most part, I feel like it's one of those things that like, there was a moment that I'm like, am I just beating the dead horse? Like I'm kind of saying the same things over again, and watching it back, I definitely am like, okay, was he not ready for marriage, or did he not want to be with me? And yesterday I was like, I don't care enough to know which one it is. Like I don't even want clarity in that sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I said everything I like needed to. Like I don't need anything else from him in that way.
You've moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he dating? Do we know?
No, I don't think he's dating.
If he calls you to say hi, are you going to go say hi?
I'm not going to say hi. He can say hi elsewhere in Minneapolis at the bar.
Right, at that one bar. So the show is done. Reunion's done. We're almost a year out. What would you say is like your biggest thing that you learned from the show?
I honestly, going into it, like I was saying before, I had really only had short-term relationships, and I've been single for a while, like pretty on and off consistently single. And there were definitely moments throughout the last few years where I was like, okay, am I too set in my ways at this point? Am I at this point that I've just become very independent in my own life, that I don't have space for someone else? And as hard as it was to watch how Dave and I ended things, I really was so invested in him, and I like fought for him so hard. And it was very, in a lot of ways, like we kind of talk about this, it was easy to blend our lives when we were in Honduras and kind of imagine what that would look like. And I was so genuinely excited about the possibility of that. So it does give me a little bit of hope to be like, okay, this will make sense when it is the right person, and it won't be hard, and it won't be like I will be able to get there with someone else, and I don't need to be afraid of that piece of things.
I feel like you're kind of similar to me, like very much a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
And I hope you keep that. Yeah, I hope you keep that light about you, because honestly, being on this side of things and thinking this is never going to happen for me and that I'll never get my man, and there's always going to be somebody talking mean to me and making jokes that are not fucking funny or judging me for my past, or like, but then you find your person.
Yeah.
And I just want you to just keep that light about you, keep this glow, and know that that is not a reflection of you or what you should be accepting in the future. So just, it gets better, girl.
Thank you.
It gets better.
I needed to hear that.
It really, truly does. This is the most awkward part. And you're going to find that person that's going to walk in and be like, oh, I know immediately. That's my girl.
Yeah.
So keep that about you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. Hi. We are here.
We are here.
With the last standing couple.
We did it.
Of Love is Blind Season 8. We are with Taylor and Danielle. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank
you. guys
you.
are all smiles.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. What is there not to smile about?
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, how are you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, we're doing really well.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy first year.
Of course.
Challenges, I mean, but very joyous occasions as well. Like life's just come at us full force, but the important thing is that we are stronger than ever.
So are you guys like officially 1 year married? What is the timeline?
March 19th will be a
19th.
year.
March 19th.
Yeah, coming up.
We're 11 and a half months-ish.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
so
close.
what have you guys been up to in these 11 and a half-ish months?
Gosh. we've done a lot. We've traveled quite a bit.
We've been doing some trips, yeah.
I travel a little bit for work, so Taylor was able to tag along with some of that, which was fun.
Come on, tag along.
Why not? Why not? We went on a honeymoon to the Bahamas, which was amazing. Yeah.
Very fun.
And then we just bought a house. Yes. So thank you.
We figured this year wasn't busy enough for us, so we'll buy a house.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Very exciting.
So yeah, we have things to look forward to, which is great.
Yeah. So you guys have just been inseparable, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. He's my best friend. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so crazy. Like, I didn't even know you a year ago.
I know. I
You're-
can't imagine
Oh my God.
what life was like before. But
Yeah.
anyway.
So how's married life? Tell me, like, let's get into it. We've been married for 11 and a half-ish months. Is it easy? Is it hard? Is it what you thought? What are we thinking?
I think the majority of me feels like it's been really easy. Again, we're just best friends and we communicate really well, and it's been so surprising. I always had in my head when I was younger that once you get married, your entire life changes. And everything's going to be different. And now it's like my life has only gained this immense peace, you know, and
I
like
love that.
how much easier life is
Yeah.
when you're married to a good human.
I love that.
So I think it scared me for
Yeah.
a long time. I think everyone's kind of in their head about the marriage commitment part of it, but it's just added such a level of peace to me. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what's crazy? Like watching you guys' like journey, it just looked peaceful.
Yeah.
Like, and when you're kind of watching reality TV shows, you're kind of like, where's the drama?
Yeah.
Where's the...
We need it.
Yeah, we need the drama. We need it or it's not going to work. Like
Yeah.
relationships need to be tested and you guys just are comfortable.
Yeah.
And you love each other and you're happy.
Yeah.
How's marriage life for you?
Yeah, it's great. But like echoing what you said, it's a lot of it is very easy. You know, for me, I was a little bit nervous because I had been single for a long time before going on the show. And so it was a big jump, you know, and I knew I was ready for it. I wouldn't have gone on if I was like not ready for it. But there are little things that you can't really plan for day to day, just different, you know, things that are different from when you were single to now you're married in such a quick time.
Putting
Like
the toilet
what?
seat
Like
down.
what? Like
Putting the toilet seat down. Yeah, I learned that real quick. I don't know. It's even little things like just, you know, my schedule of like scheduling what my day or week is going to look like, where before it was like, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to go do it. And I don't have to ask anybody or like talk to anybody about it. And now it's like your schedule is more important than what I'm doing. And like, I want to make sure that I'm working around you and like we do it together. And so, you know, it's not just me like, hey, I'm going to go golfing with the guys every day.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm going to maybe go golfing once a week and then
Maybe.
no, it's, you know, it's just stuff like that though.
Yeah.
But it's things that, you know, when you're married, you put your, you know, partner ahead of you, and like, it's just waking up every day and doing that because it's worth it.
Yeah.
You guys already are making me emotional. No, because it's like I'm seeing my future. You know?
You're
Like,
so close.
I know.
Yeah.
So I just
It's gonna
love
be
to
great.
see
I know.
the love. Yeah. So is there anything that you guys wish you knew about each other before you got married? Or wish you talked about before you got married?
Interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting going through like the Love is Blind experiment, because I feel like typically, and it'd be like a physical appearance type answer, but it doesn't matter. Like that's not why we were there. I feel like we really were intentional in the pods about talking about the important things.
Absolutely.
Like Christmas.
Exactly, like Christmas. And then I knew we were getting.
I just looked at your Instagram. I was like, oh, you were really committed to the bit.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Wow.
I
The
know.
one with the flower everywhere?
Yeah, that was at my parents' house in their kitchen the day before they hosted like 30 people for Christmas. So my dad was
You're
not.
like, let me make a mess real
my
quick.
dad was not happy
was
about that,
pissed.
to say the least. But sorry, Dad, it was worth it.
But no, we
had to be done.
We did take the dating portion like so seriously, and every day we were prompted with questions if you want to talk about it, obviously, as you know. And so there was a lot that wasn't shown in the show that we talked at length about. I had said in the show too that I've never laid this foundation for a relationship before. And that speaks volumes because I've had some pretty big relationships before. So
Yeah, I know in those like kind of questions, did you guys have any like favorite topics in those prompts that you were kind of like, I can't wait to talk to Daniel about this, or I can't wait to talk to Taylor about this? Like, what was your like favorite topics?
You know, I enjoyed talking about the family stuff. just family dynamic like right now, but also what you want out of a family for the future, because that's a big thing for me, and I knew it was a big thing for you too. And so I was looking forward to having that conversation with you, whereas I wasn't necessarily looking forward to having that conversation with the other girls. But it's because I could just see us together and like that future, and so it was exciting to be able to like, oh, like if we want to have kids, like when we have kids, how's that going to look? Like, you know, that was exciting to me.
I mean, there were tons of fun questions, right? And like lighthearted, and we could laugh all day. But what was important to me was also to find a partner that I could be vulnerable with. Yeah. And so asking those really deep, like uncomfortable questions, borderline, like one of them was, what's your biggest regret in life? So I was looking forward to opening that door with Daniel, because obviously it's like fun and go lucky in the beginning. Everyone's excited to be there, but knowing that you can have like a multi-dimensional relationship with someone was huge. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you guys come from a pretty small,
tiny.
city. Was it hard to keep a secret? Like what was that like
for the last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we could have. It seems like everybody in Minneapolis knows someone who knows someone. Everybody.
Yeah, that was clear from your
Right. Well, and our cast list was leaked while we were still filming even.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even when we were out, like there were people coming to the filming locations trying to like ask questions. And so it's just so tiny and not a lot of like really exciting things happen there. Yeah. So it was
We
a
had
huge
the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then this.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
So everyone was really invested in it. So again, I felt like a lot of people knew, but social media has just been the biggest thing of not being able to post each other. Like how cool that is, that could be a thing now.
I know.
I talk about that in the pods. Like social media has been an insecurity of mine in past relationships. So the fact that like Daniel can post me and I can post him and we can be so proud of each other is something that I've really looked forward to.
I can't wait till the day I can post my man.
Yeah. So close.
I feel you. Did you have to go like ringless for the last year?
They allowed us to wear rings, but since the cast photos were dropped, we have not been wearing them. Okay.
Yeah, we just had to be careful if we were out in public. Just no PDA. Dumb.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we wore our rings. You know, we obviously, like, we moved in together, but we were careful.
Yeah.
So you guys hit it off like almost immediately.
Day one.
Yeah, day one. Did you guys have
Yeah.
minute one?
Seriously.
Didn't you propose in like 7 seconds?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't show it, but before I went into that date, I said to Meg next to me in the hallway, I have a weird feeling about this next date.
Shut up.
And it was Daniel. And then he proposed within like a minute. And here we are, you know.
Yeah, we need your secret prayer. Yeah. I know you, girl, you had him on his knees.
Yeah,
30
whatever you
seconds.
manifested, it worked.
Right.
Couldn't tell you.
Did you guys have connections with anyone else?
We did. We were each other's number one since day one, though, which was like obviously very apparent to us both. But we talked about it that we wanted to also honor the system and experiment and really take wholeheartedly like what Chris was telling us every morning. Keep your options open. Just because they're number ones now doesn't mean they'll be number ones for forever. Yeah. So we did keep other doors open and entertain those conversations. But it was always clear to us that we were each other's person.
Yeah, I think it was important just to go through the whole experiment and do it, you know, with like keeping the integrity of what it is and trying to date other people and see if, you know, there's something there, so that at the end of the day, you know, I pick you and, you know, you pick me, and you know that I tried it with other girls and it just wasn't there.
Yeah. I know that's right.
Yeah.
I tried it.
Say it again.
Wait, so tell me about your reveal. How was it seeing each other for the first time? Were we nervous?
Oh, so nervous.
Yeah, I was
so
pretty nervous. I think I was standing like in front of the doors waiting for him to open. Was just like, what the heck am I doing? Like, this is
no, but does it not
insane.
feel like those doors are closed for 99 hours and you're standing
Never
there
opening.
like, how much lip gloss can you put on? I remember just pacing, being like, can I get lip gloss? Can I? My breath is gonna stink by the time I get to this man. I was so like, that was
You can like see a really tiny sliver through that door. And I was looking through it and the lights like shine from behind you. And so I was
below
like,
and behind.
I was in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like 6'5". And then I look up and I'm
Pretty
like,
close.
I'm 6'5". Like, wait a second.
And I'm not 6'5". So I looked through the door and I could see your shadow and I'm like, oh no. Like, here we go. Like, this is what it's all about. Like,
Is love blind?
is it blind?
I would have picked him up, spun him around.
Just threw you over your shoulder. Just, all right.
So did you know heights and stuff before?
No.
We didn't. We didn't talk anything.
Yeah, we didn't talk about any physical
descriptive.
things.
Yeah.
We really tried to not. The only thing I thought you had really blonde hair.
Okay.
Okay, I don't. Because
Okay,
next.
wrong.
Is that a blonde joke? Like, why?
No, we didn't talk anything.
Yeah.
About
Even
the
if
physical.
conversations like started to go that way, that could lead to a physical descriptor of some sort. We were like, nope, don't answer that question.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to know.
Do you guys have like types? And if so, are you each other's type?
I don't know if I've had a specific type. It's just if I'm attracted to them. Like you're beautiful, so it's like you're for sure my type. Like when the doors open, I couldn't. I probably would look like an idiot because I'm just like
You were cheesing. So
I couldn't
cute.
stop.
So we did mention that like you didn't really have a type, but do you feel like your preference would have blocked you from?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the entire dating world now is superficial. It is. Like, that's just the way it is. And, you know, people have talked about Daniel talking about his height so much, but that is a very big issue in the dating world today. A lot of women are saying that they don't want someone that's
A short
5'8".
king.
Yeah, they don't want a short king.
Short king season.
Short king season.
So that is a very real concern of any single guy,
Yeah.
I would think, right now.
Yeah, I mean, every dating app has the age range and the height range, which is like, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
And I talked about like, you know, if there's a girl out there who needs someone or prefers someone who's 6 feet, then that's not my person anyways. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a very real thing. And, you know, preferences for me, you know, whether it's age or whatever, with the superficial part of the dating these days, it's so easy just to say like, okay, well, if you're over 30, I'm not, you know, I'll just focus on this because there are a lot of girls on the dating apps that are what my preference would be in that area. And so, yeah, it would have for sure kept me from meeting Taylor for, you know, which is just crazy.
You can miss out on the most incredible humans just because of these
The
superficial
smallest
little
things.
preferences
Yeah.
that don't matter.
hair color, height.
Do not matter.
Yeah.
Give the short king a chance. I don't know who needs to hear that, but
Give him a chance. Give him a chance, ladies. Might be worth it.
Do you think that he's someone that you would have walked up to or like entertained at like a bar or a club or something?
I've always dated taller than me. So I'm also guilty of thinking that height was important. It's not. I married him and it's incredible. So honestly, in past Taylor, but I'm a completely different human than I was even at the beginning of the experiment a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I saw you out, I would have been like, wow, she's beautiful. But then I would have been like, she probably isn't into me because girls care about height. So I don't know if I would have gone up to you even.
Have you seen those memes that's like, I don't know why no one approaches me at a bar, and then it's like me at a bar, and you're like swinging your purse around your neck? That is me. So
Yeah, maybe
I
that's
don't think you would have come up
like
to me.
doing the worm in the middle of the bar.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is we talked about I never dated someone younger than me, and Daniel never dated someone older than him. And I am in fact older than him. So on dating apps,
Look at
I don't know
proud.
if we ever like really would have meshed because we had our like ranges set at different time or
Yeah,
different
different age
ages, and
ranges,
we
yeah.
just never would have
That's so
matched. I
funny.
don't think.
Yeah.
How old are y'all?
I'm 32.
I'm 30.
Okay, not that
it's
insane.
not-
I'll
it's
be
that
33 in a
much,
couple
yeah.
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 2 years. Age is just
Regardless,
a number.
though, anyone younger than me, anytime I did try and date someone younger, I was like, this is why I don't do it.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
proved right every time. So
It's crazy though, because that is something where even if I just was on a dating app and saw, you know, a girl and it was like, oh, she's older than me. It was just like an immediate like, I'll just, you know, look for someone my
Pass.
age.
Yeah.
And like, so you wouldn't, nah, you just wouldn't even give it a chance.
Yeah.
And so how cool is, you know, this type of experiment where it's like,
Let's see.
that is not the most important thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't. I mean, you don't act
No,
your age.
she
Yeah.
is
You're
far
pretty
mature.
mature, yeah.
Thanks.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Speaking of acting your age, what is this Instagram thing?
Oh my gosh,
I have to talk about it.
Sure.
Do we though?
No, I do, because I'm like, if they break up, I'm not going to watch the rest of the fucking show.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to watch it. So how did that transpire? What did you think was going on?
Yeah,
let's clear that up.
So at the reveal, I was like, obviously taking in Daniel's voice and, to his body and all the things, but I'm also racking my brain during that reveal of like, this man looks so familiar to me. And I get back to the hotel afterwards and I'm alone. We don't have our devices, kind of spiraling. At that time, it wasn't uncommon that I got single guys that would follow me on Instagram. And it was almost like a form of dating app.
Yeah.
Like social media was. It was huge for me at that time. So I had convinced myself that like, because he looked familiar and I could kind of recall things from a profile, that he maybe was one of these guys that had followed me. So anyway, I went to production's office and chatted with them. I got slight confirmation from someone with a device. So I came to this conclusion very confidently that I was right. So I went into this conversation with Daniel pretty much thinking I knew the answer. And Daniel, sweet as pie, comes in just...
I know.
Watching it back.
Whatever you need.
I know. And
it's not me.
and that's not something that I've ever experienced. Like patience, and typically in the past I would have been gaslit, like you're crazy. What do you? Yeah. So anyway, looking back now, just makes me love him more. But he came in and we chatted about it. Obviously, I looked at the followers list, did not see his name, did not follow me. Still, though, I do believe I have seen his profile. I'm sure it came up on my Explore page because I can still remember this specific mutual follower that we had. Okay. And that's still a person that we both know. So I know that that's a fact, but other than that...
It's just classic Minnesota social media of like, you have mutual friends.
It's so
at
tiny.
Some point you probably come across.
Everybody knows everybody. And again, it wasn't that he followed me at some point. My only concern and why I needed to talk to him about it was that he may have known what I looked like, which just defeats the whole purpose of why we were there. That was my only issue. Of course, the internet's come up with a million other reasons for me having that conversation. And obviously we knew how it ended, but it was really tough to like sit and take all of those opinions and harsh reactions to it when we knew what was coming in the next batch of episodes. But
how did you feel about that whole?
I understood like why you felt the way that you did, and I'm thankful that you were okay having a conversation about it instead of just being like, nope, done, I'm going home. And so, understanding why we were both there, like it makes sense. If I thought someone knew what I looked like the whole time, someone that I fell in love with, that I got engaged to, it'd be devastating. Yeah. So it's, it was just me in the moment trying to put myself in your shoes a bit and just kind of understand where you were coming from.
Yeah.
We were there to decide if we were getting married in a very short period of time. So I feel like any concern, any question that you have about anything in your relationship should be talked about. Like that's okay before you get married. To ask questions to each other, and it's important.
You don't want that lingering.
No,
that'd be so weird.
Ours happened to be on camera. So anyway,
I feel like a lot of people on social media are like, "Oh, you were like looking for an out. You didn't like the way he looked.
Correct.
Whatever."
Yeah.
Do you want to clear that up for the people?
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're married, so
she loves her man.
Yeah,
not too much.
It's been a very frustrating week listening to all those opinions because it just couldn't be further from the truth. And there's so much of the story and so much context that I wasn't able to like really explain. And I talk about on the show that social media has been an insecurity for me in past relationships. And again, you bring those insecurities with you no matter what kind of relationship you get into. You just work through them with the right person. So Daniel did just that. So I'm very, very fortunate that he's so patient and understanding.
Well, it just gave us a glimpse kind of into how we work through things together.
Conflict,
And like I think you said earlier, we didn't really have much drama. So going into a marriage, it might have been a little bit tough to be like, oh, we don't know how we deal with conflict together. Like there will be conflict in a marriage. How are we going to do it? And so in a weird way, it was almost nice being able to look back and being like, okay, we had this come up, we worked through it, and we grew stronger because of it. Now we know if something comes up in the future, we're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
I hope you guys' level of drama stays that minimal. Like, I hope it's like, I hope it's that small. Like, I really do hope that for you guys. Yeah. How are you dealing with like the Instagram and the social media? Because if that's already an insecurity and then now you have millions of people with opinions, like how are you guys handling that?
Yeah. Daniel's much better at laughing it off.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, people are so dumb. Like, people are so, like, they really are. Like, people say whatever they want, and it's like, you're probably so miserable in your own life, and you're jealous and insecure and all the things. And so
I cry a lot. But no,
we balance each other out.
Yeah,
well.
I just have a very tender heart. And I knew like our pure intentions and the wholesomeness behind it all, and it really was just displayed for the world, and they just took it so different than what it was at the time. So it has been difficult for me, but I've used the hidden words feature immensely in the last
block,
2 weeks.
delete,
Yes.
Block
and then I had
delete.
people commenting like she's deleting stuff. It's like,
yes, I am.
I
am.
had always heard people like yourself say, don't get lost in the comment section. I naively thought that meant going on Reddit looking for the comments. Not that they would be sent directly or posted directly onto my personal page. I don't have a lot of control in my life, but what I do have control over is my personal social media account.
That part,
I will delete and block
As
if
you
you're
should.
posting those disgusting things.
Should. As you should, because you will go insane.
Yeah.
And they won't stop.
I know.
They won't stop.
I know. There's always going to be something.
Yeah.
You're making me so excited, Edie.
Don't worry, it's not going to stop.
But are you guys surprised that you're the only couple to say yes? Is there anybody that you thought would make it all the way, or you just
Now, it's like sitting here today. I am not surprised that we are the only couple. But at the time, we were very surprised that Virginia and Devin didn't get married. But now, like, we clearly see that everyone was not supposed to be with each other for a reason, and they're not each other's people. So my answer has definitely changed on that in the last year.
Yeah, I think while we were filming, we were like, well, it's going to be us and probably Devin and Virginia.
Yeah.
And that was
wait?
probably
Why weren't you guys hopeful for the other couples?
We just felt, so Lauren and Dave ended before we were done filming.
I think we were hopeful for the other couples. I think we could just see, we could just see it. Like, whether we were comparing our relationship to the other ones and being like,
I just felt like it wasn't as strong.
For whatever reason, we love everybody and like we were all very close. And so we were hoping that, everyone found their person, but that's just not realistic. And so, whatever, I don't know if there were anything specific with the couples.
I'm close with the girls. Daniel's close with the guys. Like, just based on conversations that we were all having while filming, like, we just kind of got a pulse on who is really going to make it there or not. Yeah.
So, no shade, but
don't make me cry. Amy.
No, the internet's going crazy saying that you guys' season is so boring. Love is bland.
Honestly, that second drop, I was like, I had to fast forward through some of it.
Okay, so it's not just us.
But here's the thing, though. You can't win, right? Because people say, give us the love stories. We don't care about the drama. And then when it is love stories, and they're like, this is too boring. We don't like this. So it's like, either way, people are upset.
A lot of people wanted more pod time. And then now they're like, wait, no, we don't want any more pod. Like, there's too much. And so it's just, there's it's a lose-lose almost. But there were times where it felt it was dragging on a bit.
Yeah. A little bit.
I do think it gets more interesting.
The playlist helped though.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard Casey and JoJo went
like,
crazy.
Geez.
I know.
We're like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I would be fast forwarding, and then I would stop and be like, oh wait, I like this song.
You're probably like, where was this
like
during
this
my
song.
season? Yeah.
Okay, budget. I could have used that.
You paved the way, AD, for us to have those songs. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome. But no, that was, I don't know, I feel bad because the memes are going crazy. And then they're saying all the guys are clones, that we can't figure out who's who.
I don't know if no one's ever been to Minnesota, but
No,
that
we
is what
haven't.
everyone looks like in Minnesota. So
We can tell.
we are all the same.
We can tell. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know, because you want, after watching season 7 and the amount of drama.
Right.
And then fast forwarding to y'all.
Yeah.
And the lack of drama. It's weird because in reality TV, kind of like you were saying, people are like, where's the drama? Where's the drama?
Yeah.
The love? Where's the love?
I do see a lot of the Midwest in our season, though, as well. Like, we are very passive in the Midwest. And I watching it back, I'm like, oh, I could tell that people were just trying to like fill the gaps to keep things kosher.
Yeah. There was a lot of conversations that were not happening.
Talking without talking.
Yeah. A lot of that.
That's kind of classic Midwest. Just like say what you need to say to get by without ruffling too many feathers.
You guys are talking like it's a different country. Like literally like
basically
in the Midwest. We don't
I think we're just
what?
this is all so foreign.
Yeah.
Like reality TV isn't really a part of a normal lifestyle in the Midwest. So I think we were all very cautious of the camera part of it just because it is so out of left field for us.
I feel like our season, because we're all from like the Bible Belt in the South. And so we were dramatic, but we were also like, and Jesus, please, God, please be with us. Like every second was a stop to pray. We were just like every minute of the day, we were praying. Like, can you pray with me? Can you pray for me? God, Jesus, please help me. Whereas you guys are kind of like, politics, maybe.
It'll be interesting if they do like an East Coast, then it might be a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I saw that they were casting in Boston, so good luck.
Yeah, that's going to be.
They're not going to hold back.
No, that'll be fun to watch.
Imagine that.
Yeah, but then when that comes out, people are going to be like, we want the love stories.
No, they don't.
Can't win.
No, they don't. They don't want happiness. No. They don't want happiness. So because you guys were kind of like hush-hush, is there any secrets, any BTS behind the scenes that you can share that maybe
between us two?
Anything that would shock the Midwest.
Secrets.
Wake us up a little bit.
Secrets. I feel like it all got aired at the reunion too. Like everyone really came with what they needed to address. So honestly, any secret that I would have had to shock anyone was what was discussed at the reunion. And I kind of knew that all that was coming because I'm friends with the girls and Daniel's friends with the guys. So we knew it was going to be heated. We were chilling.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. We said our piece and then just kind of, I mean, it was tough at times to listen to it all because we know these people, but we didn't really have to chime in very much.
Yeah.
How was that, like watching your friends, like you're saying you're closer with the girls and you are closer with the guys. How was that, like watching it kind of...
Yeah, it was heavy. Yeah. I had to hold my tongue a lot. I wanted to put in my 2 cents because...
On what?
Well, I mean, I spoke up about Sarah and Ben.
Feathers,
I spoke up. I'm close with all the girls that got engaged, but I'm really close with Lauren and Sarah, and I will defend them to the death. So I had obviously... there's 2 sides to every story, but I definitely know Sarah's side. And it was hard for me to sit and listen to their back and forth. I had so many conversations with Sarah off camera that she was telling me things about the relationship and things he was saying. And so I spoke up. He was shifting the blame. Thank you. To Sarah about kind of like leaving him high and dry after their wedding day.
Yeah.
Saying her priority was never him, but he asked her if they could schedule their last date around the Iowa women's basketball game. Like her final date before she moved to Nashville. And it's like, okay, if we don't talk about priorities, that's not it.
That is very interesting.
So I spoke up about that.
Yeah.
I was nervous though. My voice was shaking.
You're like,
the Midwest.
I have something to say.
Please don't be mad at me, but
No, it was definitely tough. I mean, I think people said what they needed to say. I will say that I'm probably closer with Joey. I'm probably out of the guys that were there, probably I'm closest with Joey, but I've spent time with all of them. I'm really proud of how Dave handled the reunion. I think he took accountability for a lot, which he needed to do. I think he has a lot of growing to do, and I think he's grown a lot this year, just watching him. So I just wanted, I just talked to him after and was like, dude, I commend you for how you handled it. And I hope that he can take some of that stuff into, his future. But
I do wonder how, because did you talk to Lauren during the whole...
Oh, yeah.
And did you talk to Dave during all that? Did you give him any advice on, maybe you should relax?
It was tough for Dave because when we were in Honduras and we got our phones back and, you're expecting to go back into the real world and kind of ease into it. And we knew it's not going to be easy. And we know it's not going to be easy, but word had already gotten out because it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
Word had already gotten out about all of this stuff about Dave and Lauren and like his friends and his sister and his family. This guy, like everybody knew everything before Dave even knew anything. So one, we were coming back into the real world, which is tough in itself. And then also he was getting all of that piled on top of him, which isn't an excuse to necessarily act the way that he did. But I try to just understand a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know it was a lot for him. And so I mean, I tried to give advice, but he has long-term friends and family that he would take advice over, advice from me. He only known me for a couple weeks. But I also tried to understand where he was coming from. But there were definitely some things I think that he knows that he did that he wishes he could, do differently.
Yeah.
Did you have any advice?
Well, Lauren came to Sarah and I like off the jump when we got back to Minneapolis. She like pulled us aside and was like, this is what's going on. She explained the whole situation to us. And at the time I was like, it's not going to be a big deal. Boy, was I wrong. It really turned into a big deal.
Biggest deal.
The biggest.
Yeah.
Literally the biggest. Obviously I was disappointed that Dave was taking the opinions of others over his fiance and wasn't listening to her. Watching it back, I'm going to cry. It felt like Lauren was screaming at the top of her lungs and no one was listening to her. And as her best friend, that's like really sad to see. So I felt like I could see that in her eyes the entire time we were filming back in Minneapolis. But man, the like confidence she has now and that it's come full circle that this was all like fabricated to chase clout for this guy. Like, I just feel so like redeemed for her. Yeah.
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 Happy for her.
She deserves happiness.
For sure.
Yeah. And I hope Dave learned, like you said.
I think he's
was
learned a
tough.
lot.
Yeah.
That was tough. But you guys are a great example of how to get through things and talk about things that might come up.
Yeah.
And I think we can learn a lot from that. Do you guys feel like there's anything else that you want to clear up? Tell the people, ruffle a feather or two. It's okay. They will let you
Joey
back
sucks. Just kidding. I love Joey. I don't feel personally that I need to clear anything up about us.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you feel like you need to.
No, I mentioned to him this morning that at the reunion last night, I was going to say some other things, but I never got the opportunity to. But I've had a lot of heartbreak in my life, and I think a lot of girls out there can identify with that as well. And I want to tell people that that love that you're wondering if it's out there, if it exists, it does. And it's real, and you're going to find it, and you just have to be patient and not settle until you do, because everyone deserves a Daniel.
Oh, you're giving me chills.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. What is the biggest thing you guys would say you learned from the show?
I think for me, I had always hoped that, certain values were instilled in me from my parents and just my upbringing. I think this show gave me the opportunity to test that and prove to myself that, I am a patient person. I can be a loving person. Because I wasn't always necessarily that way. I didn't have a lot of relationships. I never really had the chance to give the love that I have to someone that I truly care about. And so I'm just so thankful for the opportunity. And I can't believe that it ended this way for us, and maybe started this way for we have so much to look forward to. I'm really glad that, I had the chance to just give my all.
Yeah. I learned to trust myself. We don't have our devices when we're going through the pods in Honduras. Like, you are relying solely not on the opinions of your best girlfriends. Like, look at this photo of him. Is he cute? Should I date him? Should I not? You don't have those outside influences. You trust yourself and your gut wholly. And that is not something that I have always done in the past.
Yeah.
So to prove to myself that not only could I trust my gut, but then I got my husband out of it too.
That's so relatable.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need anyone else to approve of it. I got here today because of my choices and my decisions.
Yeah.
And I have the best human next to me. So
That's so powerful. Look
Yeah.
at his face.
Yeah.
He's so happy.
I love when you talk nice about me. I don't know.
I always talk nice about you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I just love you so much. I don't know. I'm the luckiest guy. I've said it a billion times. I just can't believe it. Luckiest guy in the world.
So sweet.
I love when the experience, whatever we're calling it these days, I love when it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, should there be future seasons, like I had proof prior that it worked, and now people can look back and be like, it still works.
Sure.
It
Yeah.
still works. And
Yeah.
that was a lot of my reason for going on the show and
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like, seeing like Lauren and Cameron
Yeah.
and seeing like Amber and like seeing people actually married.
Yeah.
I'm like, this
And happy.
works.
Yeah.
And happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think you guys are proof that if you put in the work and you ask the tough questions and you really dive deep and like open up fully, that
Yeah.
it can work.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that's almost the only way that it works is
Yeah.
if you go there and
Commit
you,
to the process, yeah.
have to do it full hearted. Like don't hold back, just be open and just go for it.
Yeah.
This Taco Bell thing.
Yeah,
We've got a tattoo.
we do. Mm-hmm. Do you want to see it?
I do actually want to see it.
It says Taco B.
Well,
now.
inner lip tattoos fade really
Yeah.
quickly, but I've had it for 4 years now.
Are you gonna get it refreshed?
So I would love to.
Can I
but
see?
Not a lot of places are willing to do it.
Really?
So shout out if you want to do it. But
Oh my God. No, you committed to the bit.
yeah. It was my one and only tattoo at the time.
Yeah.
I've gotten Daniel's handwriting on me now since we've gotten married, but
Wait, you have what?
Daniel's handwriting tattooed on me. Yeah.
What?
I don't think we've told anyone that.
I don't think we have.
What is
Ooh.
it? What does it say?
Well, so the girls wanted to get a tattoo for season 8.
A bunch of girls from our cast, we all got tattoos together.
Where is it?
It's on my side, and it says 8 in Daniel's handwriting.
Why does it say 8?
Season 8.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll be involved in it. The girls are doing it, but I'll write
And then
it.
they're like, "Can we all use Daniel's handwriting?" Because they all love
I
him.
didn't think I had that great a handwriting.
Do you have any tattoos?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the lip tattoo yet.
Yet.
And I can't believe that was such a big deal. I kind of forgot about it, and then they included it. I did get a tattoo. I have one here of coordinates of like my family's cabin, but I wanted to get something for Taylor. My favorite part of Taylor physically is her eyes, and it's the first thing I noticed when the doors opened, and so I got a tattoo of her eyes on my chest.
You have that right
yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Do you want to see?
I mean, can I? Is that
Can I pull-
weird? Shut up.
Does it look like her eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
you guys are committed.
I know.
Holy
We're doing it.
I love that.
Yeah, no, there's definitely plans at some point. I feel like I have to get the lip tattoo at some
Yeah.
point. I just don't know exactly what it's. I don't know if it's going to be Taco Bell or if it's going to be
Chipotle, maybe.
Chipotle. I do
Yeah.
love Chipotle.
Yeah.
Something that I like. So stay tuned.
Yeah, come back when you get there.
Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Okay, now I need to call Ollie because
Sorry, Ollie.
I need
Shoot, you just threw him on
something
the spot.
tatted.
Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother.
I know, I'm going to be like, get me plastered on your back.
Yes.
A full
Daniel did
back. Daniel did it. You got to do it.
You do it.
Do you even like me?
Do you love me? That's what married people do. I love that. You guys, it was such a pleasure having
fun.
you here.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Sadie.
You're the most beautiful bride, by the way.
Oh, thank
Loved
you.
your dress. And you guys just, I want nothing but the best for you guys. And I hope that
Likewise.
you guys come back with any life updates.
Yeah. We'll bring
Sure
that
we
tea.
will.
Yeah. Ruffle, feather, too.
Yeah, ruffle,
It's
feather.
okay. I
You need
promise.
to be okay doing that.
Yeah. I'm going to need to sleep on it. But
Yeah. But I loved having you guys here.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having us. This
Of
was so
course,
fun.
Of course, you
Thanks, Sadie.
guys. What's the reality? What's the reality?